delve into that deeper later on in the program. But right about now, let's begin with the news, where the Kenya Secondary School Heads Association has called for speedy investigations into the disappearance and subsequent death of Simon Isiaho, the principal of Munyuki PAG Secondary School in Lugari, Kakamega County. They have threatened to disrupt the ongoing Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE examinations if investigations do not unravel the circumstances surrounding the principal's death. The body of the principal, who had been reported missing, was found floating on River Kipkaren on Saturday.
The search for Munyuki PAG Secondary School Principal Simon Isiaho ended in tragedy after his body was found in River Kipkaren early Saturday. The retrieval of his body from the river threw the area residents into a state of anger, shock and mourning, with questions abound as to what might have transpired. Officials from the Kenya Secondary School Heads Association are now demanding swift investigations.
If the sub-county is not able to do its work, we are demanding that the director of a criminal investigation at the headquarters must send a neutral team to ensure that the truth and the perpetrators of this case are brought to book.
If we cannot be protected, then we will not teach. It is very dangerous for a teacher to be exposed to that extent up to being murdered in such an awkward way.
They have announced plans to hold massive demonstrations on Monday, demanding justice for the slain principal.
We have learned that in the previous past, some of our principals and teachers in a Lugari constituency have been intimidated by politicians.
What is this that he had done that he deserved this?
It was a very undignified death, and we are demanding justice for that. We are saying as a union, if this investigation, if the perpetrators are not brought to book, by Monday, the teachers of Munyuki will not go, by January, the teachers of Munyuki will not go back to school.
They have also called for enhanced security for teachers, saying that national examination papers should be delivered directly to schools to prevent similar incidents in the future.
Tunataka kupendekeza kwamba walimu wakuu wapewe ulinzi, na katika ulinzi waweze kupewa bunduki zile ambazo tutakuwa tukitumia hapo ili kuweza kujihami sisi wenyewe, kwa vile tumegundua kwamba tuko na maadui wengi.
The deceased was last seen alive on Monday, the 3rd of November 2025. He was reportedly heading to collect KCSE examination papers. His car was later found crushed, but the principal's body was not at the scene of the accident.
Nancy Okwari reporting there. Now, President William Ruto has directed all Kenyans in possession of illegal firearms to surrender them to the relevant authorities in the coming days. Speaking in Baragoi, Samburu County, the head of state noted that those firearms have caused nothing but death, destruction and pain, warning that the government will not hesitate to use the necessary machinery and security personnel at its disposal to guarantee necessary security to the lives and properties of all Kenyans. That is, Abdiaziz Hashim brings us details of that story.
A day after gracing the Ma Cultural Festival in Kajiado County, President William Ruto, alongside government officials and leaders from the Ma region, joined faithfuls at the ACK All Saints Pro Cathedral Church, Maralal, Samburu County.
Kwa hivyo kila mtu iko na bunduki, tafadhali my friends, mapema asubuhi rudisha bunduki. Hakuna mwananchi atakuwa na bunduki. Wewe kama unataka kuchunga ng'ombe, tafuta fimbo, enda chunga ng'ombe. Bunduki wachana naye.
The head of state noted that those firearms have caused nothing but death and destruction among Kenyans.
Iko bunduki inachunga ng'ombe. Bunduki inaua watu, bunduki inaua wanyama, bunduki inaua watoto, bunduki inaua kina mama, inamaliza wazee, inatuletea wajane, inatuletea mayatima. Hiyo maneno tumesema no. Kila mwananchi achunge mali yake na fimbo. Watoto waende shule. Ama namna gani? Kama unataka mambo ya bunduki, tunaajiri police next week. Wewe kuja tukuajiri kwa police, uende ushike bunduki, uendelee na hiyo kazi. Ama namna gani?
The president further put on notice criminal elements in Samburu County who steal livestock and terrorize women and children in the region.
Mambo ya kuleta maafa hii dunia, mambo ya kukosesha watoto wetu masomo, kuleta wajane na mayatima, kuharibu usalama. Serikali ya Kenya tutasimama kidete. Wale watu nilituma siku ile wako njiani tena. Waambia hao watu waanze kufunga safari waanze kutembea.
Na kanisa wanalia na kuomba mambo ya usalama. I want to thank you and your government kwa sababu saa hizi mambo yametulia. We are not there, but at least there are some steps that have been taken that watu wanaishi kwa amani.
The president also called out individuals that paint Kenya in a bad light.
I see many people who don't believe in our country. I see many people who are negative about Kenya. I see many people who confess negative things about our country. Kama wewe ni kiongozi katika taifa letu la Kenya na huamini nchi hii, huna maono ya maana yeyote, huna mipango yeyote ya kubadilisha Kenya.
2027 succession politics also took center stage.
Your goal of taking Kenya to become a first world nation, you will not walk that journey alone. The Man Nation will walk with you.
Na kwa kweli yale ambayo umefanya kwa hii wakati mfupi sana, sisi kama jamii ya Wamasai umetufanyia mengi sana.
By the time we go to Achas, within this county, we shall have 1,500 units for affordable housing. The amount of money we will spend will be about 1.5 billion. Na hiyo ni kiojo tu ni ya kwanza.
The head of state assured Kenyans that he has every intention to fulfill all his pre-election pledges. He also laid the foundation stone for Baragoi Modern Market in Samburu County, as he is expected to launch key projects in the county on Monday.
Now, the Kenya National Private Sector Workers Union is urging the government and other agencies to work together in coming up with policies and reforms to improve the private security sector in the country. The union's National General Secretary, Isaac Andabwa, further encouraged the security guards to advance their academic qualifications for better prospects in their career.
If you work hard and we have a framework, God can also promote you from level A to P, just like police. We have corporal, sergeant, and so forth. Why not the cadets? Why not the cadets as a way of motivation? They begin from a lower level to a higher level in terms of training, skills, and knowledge.
Now, counties in the coastal region are recording high prevalence of the sickle cell disease and an inherited blood disorder which affects hemoglobin, the protein that carries oxygen throughout the body. In this story, we tell you some of the mitigation measures that are being adopted by the health stakeholders in Kilifi to address a condition which has seen the Kilifi County Referral Hospital recording up to 1,300 cases annually.
Referral Hospital. Andrew Nzombo Charo, together with his wife, have traveled from Watamu to bring their 2 children who suffer sickle cell anemia. Though Charo and his wife have no history of the disease in their families, their 2 children have since been diagnosed with the disease, which has been quite a struggle for the couple.
Kuhusu viungo, maumivu makali, mara mwili pia unakuwa na joto jingi. So nikampeleka katika hospitali ya rufaa ya Malindi. Akafanywa vipimo, lakini kule haikuthibitishiwa kama ni selemundu. Wakanirifaa nije Kilifi, Cambridge, ndo wakabainisha kwamba ni selemundu.
Watching his 2 children suffer from the pain of the disease has been emotionally draining for them.
Imekuwa safari ngumu sana kwa sababu mtoto wangu wa kwanza kabla hii dawa kupatikana hydrosurea alikuwa anakaa kama muda wa wiki moja tu, baada ya wiki nyingine analazwa.
Kadzo Katana from Bomani, Kilifi South Sub-County, has walked a similar journey for 39 years. Her story has been one of resilience.
Maumivu kwa wingi yalikuwa kwa wakati wa utoto. Usafiri kwetu Bomani kulikuwa kuna shida. Sasa mimi nilibebwa mgongoni mpaka miaka 10. After hiyo 18 niliishi maisha bila dawa miaka 10. So ndo nikaletwa Kembre kufanywa kipimo cha selimundo. Ndo hapo ikajulikana kwani ni sickle cell.
Sickle cell disease is a group of inherited blood disorders characterized by the production of abnormal hemoglobin, leading to misshaped red blood cells that can cause severe health complications. The counties of Kilifi, Kwale and Tana River in Kenya have an especially high disease burden.
Sehemu ambazo zilikuwa zimeathirika na malaria ndizo sehemu nyingi ambazo ziko na hizo sickle cell, kwa sababu zile malaria parasites zilienda tatiza na ile cell ya damu ile nyekundu, chembe nyekundu.
Kilifi County Non-Communicable Disease Coordinator John Moss said the county, alongside other partners, have deployed significant resources and manpower to fight the chronic disease, which, if not properly managed, kills children born with the disease before their 5th birthday.
A lot of the children we started off with are now in their teenage years. So we actually have a larger cohort of adolescent patients, which for us is a success because most of these children were thought to die even before the age of 5. So we're having better survival of the patients.
The Ministry of Health and other partners are also implementing different programs in 17 sickle cell endemic counties.
We have several programs that support sickle cell anemia patients. As we provide the clinical service, we're also able to do research, and our research is looking at just describing the disease in this population.
Aside from running 2 clinics for pediatrics and adult sickle cell patients, where they see some 1,300 patients annually, Cambridge Center for Geographic Medicine also is conducting research on the disease in the area.
Once the individual is confirmed to have sickle cell anemia, we enroll them into the clinic. Currently see about 1,300 patients a year, of which about 700 of them regularly come back to the clinic. And so the repeat visits are normally every 3 months. And when they come in, we just ensure that, especially at entry level, that they get all their vaccinations.
According to the World Health Organization, approximately 1,000 children are born with sickle cell disease every day in Africa. For KBC Channel 1, I am Teresa Mutai.
And we look at news making headlines in the counties where health stakeholders held a walk to raise awareness of the vital role played by radiographers in healthcare service delivery. The walk brought together KMTC students, radiography professionals and other stakeholders in the sector. There's some more in our County News Roundup.
The World Radiography Day celebrates a discovery of X-rays and recognizes the vital role radiographers play in modern healthcare. To commemorate the event, the Nairobi Women Hospital organized a community walk awareness activities highlighting the importance of imaging in patients' care. Elsewhere in Mandera County, residents have taken to the streets to protest the lack of electricity in their community, saying they have lived in total darkness for years. They gathered to voice their frustrations, accusing the authorities concerned of neglecting them despite the installation of electric poles under the Rural Electrification Program. The residents are urging the national and county government to prioritize the border regions like Mandera in the Rural Electrification Program to ensure equitable development across the country.
Hii area hakuna stima. Na sisi naye tulikuwa ni walimu, tunaishi hapa na hakuna stima hapa. Naye juzi watu ya survey wamekuja hapa, wamepima for almost 1 year na mheshimiwa Waitan. Na sisi kutoka siku hiyo hatujapata stima.
A luxurious yacht named My City, worth over $60 million, has docked at Kilifi County from Dubai, attracting both local and international tourists. Governor Gideon Murango says the visit will boost the local business and promote Kilifi as a luxury tourist destination.
We have started attracting also the high-end market of clientele. And this is what we want, not only just tourists, but also high-end tourists, so that they can also spend money and boost our economy in this country.
Elsewhere, more than 1,000 pre-operative technicians and technologists across the country are calling for formal recognition, regulation, and a defined scheme of service from the government to strengthen their role within Kenya's healthcare system. The association's patron, Dennis Okech, urged the government to move swiftly to streamline the profession under a structured scheme of service, saying it will improve members' welfare and enhance delivery of surgical care in hospitals nationwide.
And one major issue we have is the scheme of service. As you know, our members do not have a proper scheme of service, and we want to urge the government to move with speed.
Let me take you to northern Kenya, where women and children across Marsabit, Isiolo and Samburu still have to walk for kilometers in search of water. The wells that still hold water are shallow and crowded, a single source serving hundreds of people and their livestock. Sometimes clouds gather on the horizon, raising their hopes of rain only to vanish as quickly as they appear. In Drought Diaries, Ben Chumba takes us to the heart of northern Kenya, where survival is measured in sips of water.
Before the sun rises, the women of North Horr, children and donkeys begin their journey, chasing what the rest of the world probably takes for granted: water. Bare feet pound the earth, yellow jerrycans clatter on donkeys' backs. They are determined to continue. By sunrise, they have already walked 5 kilometers. By midday, they have covered 10. Every step is a reminder that here, water is not found, it is fought for.
Unaenda kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni, unarudi kwa watoto wakati wameisha, hakuna kiu, wanae njaa, hawajapata kitu ya kupikia chakula, ile maji unaleta tena inaharisha hawa.
Unaweza enda masaa kama jioni ukose juu hiyo watumizi ama wale wanatumia maji ni wengi sana.
At the end of the long walk lies not relief but disappointment.
Ukifika tena huko unajua ni ball moja tu, sasa tunategemea wote na wanyama watu kutumia, so unakuta huko unapenda unaingia line mrefu sana. Kama sasa wale tu at least wako karibu na hapo au na shota asubuhi, so tena ikifika time nyingine wanyama wanakunywa, so baadaye unakuta hata unaweza poteza kama 1 hour ukiongoja hiyo maji hiyo line.
They say water is life, and for residents here, water is something they have to chase every day. For some families, they have to walk up to 10 kilometers every day just to find it. And when they do, the water is salty. Too salty for the children, and sometimes even for the animals. Sometimes clouds gather on the horizon, heavy and promising, but they vanish as quickly as they appear. The earth waits, so do the families, watching, walking, hoping, only to return with empty jerrycans and salt-laden water.
Wakati mvua inanyesha maji ya tope ndio tunakunywa, wakati tunasema maji mzuri ndio tunakunywa. Wakati tunaenda kuleta ile chumvi, hakuna chakula inabika, ni chumvi za yote watu na hara. Hakuna siku mtu hapana mgonjwa, homa, nini, kila kitu tunapata kwa sababu hiyo maji.
Balls ilikuwa imeshimbwa na projects na lakini ngine kuka broken down kwa sababu tena maji ile inapatikana ni chumvi. So tena ile chumvi unajua inaharibu your pipes. Ina rust mpaka inaharibika.
At night, hyenas come to drink from the same troughs where women fetch water by day.
Hapa tu kwa laga tuna shimba tu kidogo kidogo chemchemi tunatumia hiyo ambaye tunakunywa na pamoja na fisi. Usiku fisi, asubuhi sisi tunaamukia.
When thirst becomes unbearable, even fear takes a backseat. But that salty water, heavy with minerals, is slowly killing them. Kidney complications are rising among young people, some as young as 18.
Mmoja alikuwa amefariki, so wawili wako hospitali kwa sababu ya dialysis. Hii yote imeletwa na chumvi ya maji ya chumvi hapo, so tunasaidia, tunaomba serikali na washikadau wengine watusaidie kutoa chumvi.
The government has promised to install filtration systems, but the cost is high and the wait even longer.
Right now, Northern Technical Training Institute has such a system. At least now people can access safe drinking water. You know, it is a process, something that step by step, at least in future, every water source will have the reverse osmosis mechanism.
Until then, the people of North Horr will keep walking one jerrycan at a time across the desert with the hope that somewhere, somehow, in these dry plains, they will quench their thirst.
Chumba reporting there. A look at sports, where Kenya Morans were crowned champions of the Zambezi Rugby Sevens Challenger after beating host Zambezi Cheetahs 14-0 in the final of the tournament played last evening in Harare, Zimbabwe. Now, after a trialless first half on a rainy evening in Zimbabwe and the Cheetahs having committed a head tackle that saw their man red-carded, Morans ran riot in the final 2 minutes, scoring 2 quick converted tries for the 14-0 win. Morans progressed to the semis after thrashing Old Miltonians 48-0 in the quarterfinals and then went on to beat Old Georgians 61-0 in the semifinals to book a final date against the Cheetahs. Zambia Impalas won the ladies' title after coming from behind to beat host Zimbabwe Warthog 17-12 in the ladies' final.
The line-out is won by the Zambia Impala. And here's number 10. She's been really good throughout the tournament. She lets it off. What a pass. What a play. It's a foot race. Chiwoniso Mabika is chasing. She's not going to be able to stop the Zambians from scoring their first try.
And that's where we put a cap on the morning news here on Good Morning Kenya. As always, thank you for your time and your company. My name is Maria Mbo, and definitely stay tuned for our subsequent news bulletins. My colleague Victor Lo is on standby together with the guests. He'll be on just after this break. I'm Marie Yambo.